Bihari pride bleeds for Sushant Singh Rajput. Politics stoking the fires of Bihari identity. Devendra Fadnavis handed charge of Bihar election by BJP. A probe that turned political. Will Sushant Singh Rajput be an election issue in Bihar this winter? Top focus on To The Point this evening. Good evening, you're watching To The Point. Will SSR Sushant Singh Rajput be an election issue this election winters in Bihar? Our top focus, but we're getting in, and if I have to admit it myself, some very sensational news that is coming in on the probe which is being conducted by the ED. Let's quickly dip into that. There seems to be a fresh twist in the Sushant Singh Rajput death probe. The ED has found that the late actor was in fact paying installments for a flat worth 4.5 crore rupees located in Malad. Now, the ED sources have told us that this flat for which installments are being paid is allegedly occupied right now and is in the name of ex-girlfriend Ankita Lokhande. Sources have said Ria, during grilling, revealed about the flat and claimed that Sushant couldn't ask Ankita to vacate the property. Sources also say it is unclear how much amount was paid when the flat was in fact bought, but till Sushant was alive, EMIs were being deducted from Sushant Singh Rajput's account for a flat which is occupied by Ankita Lokhande. That is a massive twist in the ongoing developments. I want to cut across right now to our Mumbai Bureau Chief. Sahil Joshi joins me live. You know, Sahil, everybody was very focused. There was a lot of news about what the ED was investigating on the alleged 15 crores allegedly siphoned off by Ria. Till now, there was no proof. Now there seems to be bona fide proof by the ED that 4.5 crore rupees of a flat was bought in the name of Ankita Lokhande. Until Sushant's death, he was paying EMIs for that. And this flat is currently occupied by Ankita Lokhande, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, Preeti, you're right. This is what ED has learned through various statements taken right from Ria Chakravarti. Ria Chakravarti has told ED that the flat actually belongs to Sushant Singh Rajput and Ankita Lokhande, and Sushant has been paying the EMI, the monthly endorsements on this particular flat, and he was still paying for this particular flat, and that's what has been revealed to ED. So now the ED is going into understanding that what kind of registration documents, and also there is a Standard Chartered loan on the name of Sushant Singh Rajput, and that's what ED is also looking at, that from where this money was being paid for this particular flat. Now, as a responsible journalist, we had sent questionnaire to Ankita Lokhande as well as Ankita Lokhande's team. We waited for some time, but there is no, they have not replied to any of the questions. The questions we had asked her, that had she revealed this to the family members of Sushant Singh Rajput, because it's their allegation that Sushant Singh Rajput's 15 crore rupees were siphoned off by Ria Chakravarti and the other people who are now being questioned by Enforcement Directorate, including his personal staff. Had you informed about this particular flat and Sushant Singh Rajput paying for the EMIs to the family members or not? So there is no, proper reply we have got from Ankita Lokhande, but this is what the ED sources have confirmed to us, that they are going to look into this. Of course, this deal is must be 4 years old, because Ankita Lokhande, if you remember, in our own interview had said that she had not met Sushant Singh Rajput since last 4 years. So obviously this flat has to be the old flat. This flat is from Mumbai's Malad area. Right. And this is from the place where she was giving interviews to the media channels.
You know, this is bizarre, because, one thing again, we'd like to reiterate, a lot of channels will go to town with this news report, which is that while investigating Ria for 15 crores, siphoning off of 15 crores from Sushant's bank accounts, which till now they haven't found proof. What they have found proof, the ED, is that Ankita Lokhande is now residing in a flat of 4.5 crore rupees that Sushant Singh Rajput was paying EMIs for. But what we'd like to say is it's really nobody's business if Sushant was doing so. The family might have some, claims and charges on that. But if he did it of his own volition, it really is nobody's business. Having said that, let's quickly shift focus to how The probe in Sushant Singh Rajput's death has now completely turned political. Why do we say that? Well, number one, Devendra Fadnavis, the former Chief Minister of Maharashtra, the man who's been highly critical of Uddhav Thackeray's handling of the Sushant Singh Rajput probe, the man who's pretty much said that there is a deep conspiracy at play where this probe is concerned, is now going to be made in charge of Bihar elections for the BJP. Take a look at this report. Bihari Asmita, Bihari pride, and the ongoing probe into Sushant Singh Rajput's death. The actor's death has galvanized the culturally, politically, deeply divided state under one banner: justice for Sushant Singh Rajput. As Bihari pride bled for the son of its soil, politicians across the spectrum, in a rare show of unity, asked in one voice for a CBI probe. The fact that Bihar goes to elections in October-November 2020 was not lost. An emotive issue that could very well be its biggest vote catcher. This is when Devendra Fadnavis enters the political scene of Bihar. In Mumbai, Maharashtra, building himself as a big critic of Uddhav's handling of the death probe, to even insinuating foul play. Devendra Fadnavis emerged as the political face, claiming deep conspiracy in Sushant's death. The fact Sushant's death could become a poll plank in 3 months in Bihar elections can't be lost. That on the Bharatiya Janata Party handing over the all-important charge for BJP's election strategy for Bihar to the 50-year-old Devendra Fadnavis. The buzz had been growing about Fadnavis's elevated role after he chaired a core committee meeting of the BJP's Bihar unit on Thursday via video conferencing. Sources indicate that Devendra Fadnavis has been roped in to steer the way for the BJP in Bihar, along with state in charge Bhupendra Yadav. With strategizing on how to capitalize on Sushant's death probe sentiment, Fadnavis, a Brahman himself, is being seen to pull in the considerable 5% upper caste Brahman vote to the BJP, building on his crafty image of brokering caste dynamics in Maharashtra. However, the political landscape of Bihar is very different from Maharashtra. Will it prove to be the ace or the liability? Time will tell. The NCP and the Shiv Sena say this was always on the wall. The probe into Sushant's death was more political than investigative. This will be the first major responsibility on the national stage for Fadnavis, who served as Chief Minister of Maharashtra between 2014-2019. His second attempt to lead the state in 2019 lasted only 3 days. Will he succeed in Bihar by primarily stoking the fires of Bihari identity? Bureau Report, India Today. So what's going on? Why is it that Devendra Fadnavis has been given the charge of the Bihar elections, which are viewers in just about 2 months from now? Is it also stoking on Bihari pride, which is clearly standing on the side of foul play or justice for Sushant Singh Rajput? Because that clearly will be an emotive election issue, which will be exploited by all. Also, he is a Brahman. There's a 5% Brahman vote to take where the upper caste is concerned in Bihar. What's going on? What's the real reason? Let's bring in our political analyst. I have with me Ashutosh, political analyst, Sahil Joshi, reporting the very latest in terms of the developments in Mumbai. Rajdeep Sardesai, consulting editor. In a short while from now, we'd be joined by Manisha Priyam, academician and researcher, and she comes from the state of Bihar. Let me begin with Rajdeep Sardesai first. Rajdeep, why do you think, in your view, that Devendra Fadnavis has been given charge of Bihar for elections which are just in about 2 months?
Well, my sense is that I don't think Sushant Singh Rajput's case is going to become the dominant election issue in a state like Bihar, which is a very complex caste-ridden society. But I think it will provide an element of the surround sound, especially depending on which way the investigation goes. I think there will be an attempt to evoke some element of Bihari subnationalism, the fact that the BJP has taken such a strong stand on the issue, the fact that you could perhaps pit Bihar versus Maharashtra. So, and I think the fact that Devendra Fadnavis has been is likely to be part of the campaign in Bihar for the BJP is a pointer towards that, a pointer towards the fact that I think the BJP believes that they can be seen to have identified with the Justice for Sushant campaign, and therefore I do expect it to play a role in the surround sound of the Bihar campaign for the BJP in particular, even if I rather doubt that it is going to become a vote-catching issue beyond a point in Bihar.
You know, I want to just give a bit of background to all of this, and I want to pull in Sahil Joshi, because he's been tracking the developments, especially politically, what has been the political blowback of this probe. And, you know, Sahil, just put this in context, the role that possibly Devendra Fadnavis has played, because if you look at the language, not just him, his wife has been constantly attacking Uddhav Thackeray, saying that he's been weak in the probe, the police has been weak in terms of the probe, and raising larger questions of a conspiracy.
You know, absolutely. This, what the opposition parties have managed to do well right now with the help of this Sushant Singh Rajput case is to create a suspicion around the Thackeray family. And this is the time they have directly attacked the Thackeray family. Till then, it was only with respect to the functioning of the government in the COVID situation or the functioning of the government with respect to farmers. But this is the time when they got a chance to actually target the Thackeray family indirectly as well as directly. Now, here comes the interesting part. Look at the chronology, because that is how a lot of things are explained. Just imagine before Sushant Singh Rajput's family went and registered an FIR in Patna. Before that, just look at the television coverages or even the media coverages with respect to Bihar. There was a coverage about the floods. Half of the Bihar was under floods. How the flood situation was being handled. Nitish Kumar was being criticized for that. The second situation was with respect to the COVID situation and the migrant workers who had travelled 1,000 miles to reach their villages in Bihar. So that part of coverage was dominant in the media. Suddenly, the FIR is registered in Patna police station, and after that, the whole shift of focus on the Sushant Singh Rajput case is a clear indicative that what the ruling JDU and BJP alliance wants to take the election towards, specifically with respect to the election issue, if you talk about. Now, there is another angle to it. The same team which was part of the Maharashtra Assembly election campaign, Bhupendra Yadav and Devendra Fadnavis, are now going to lead the campaign in Bihar. Bhupendra Yadav is in charge of Bihar BJP. So there is a twist to it that as well, because this is a great time for the BJP to get rid of Janata Dal United, because lack of opposition is there. Lalu Prasad Yadav is not in front of them.
Let me bring in, I want to also bring in, Sahil, I'm sorry for coming in just a little short on time because of the breaking. I want to bring in Manisha Priyam as well. But Ashutosh, I want to come to you. What is your perspective on all of this? Because if you look at Bihar, culturally, politically, so very divided, but right now all under one banner, justice for Sushant Singh Rajput.
See, Preeti, I can pity for Devendra Fadnavis, because Devendra Fadnavis, if at all he is going to talk about the Bihar and talk about the Bihari nationalism, then he should be working against the Marathi nationalism per se, because if he has to go and criticize the Maharashtra government, that the Thackeray government, then obviously it is inferred that he is going to criticize the Maharashtra police. Now the issue is the Maharashtra nationalism, the Marathi nationalism has been very, very strong, starting from the Shivaji to Jyotiba Phule to Babasaheb Ambedkar to Justice Rana Day to Gokhale and Tilak and Hedgewar and Savarkar and everybody. Now the issue is either somebody is trying to fix Devendra Fadnavis, that you work against the Marathi sentiment, you work against the Marathi nationalism, or somebody has been very, very clever, very clever and very, very shrewd, and he thinks by putting Devendra Fadnavis in Bihar, maybe it works for them. But I don't think it's going to work. The issue today is in Bihar, and the Sahil was very right on that. that Nitish Kumar has completely failed. He has failed as the chief minister in the last 5 years. The corona has completely failed, confused chief minister. And even on the flood issue, has nothing to deliver. He has been the chief minister for 15 years. Look at where is the infrastructure in Bihar, where is the industry in Bihar, where is the roads in Bihar, where is the law and order in Bihar? Nothing. So he has nothing to offer except the Bihari nationalism. But if he needs Devendra Fadnis, somebody who represents the Maratha sentiment, to deliver Bihari nationalism, I can only pity for Devendra Fadnis.
All right, I want to give the final word. We have Manisha Priyam. She's from Bihar. She knows Bihar politics by the back of her hand. Ms. Priyam, how do you read this? Because yes, there is a sentiment where Bihari Asmita is concerned, stoking sub-nationalism there in the name of Sushant Singh Rajput. But he's also a Brahmin. He's been able to manage dynamics in terms of caste in Maharashtra. We've seen that happen. Do you think it could work?
So I'd like to slightly differ with my esteemed co-panelist and I would say dear friend Ashutosh Ji. See, Bihar has had a long innings of the Congress party, being led by Sushil Kumar Shinde, who was also a Marathi. So in a sense, the space that the BJP is trying to occupy for itself is the upper caste Bihari sub-nationalism, which was once occupied by the Congress party. Now, we may believe that the Congress party doesn't exist at all, but in combination with Lalu Prasad Yadav, the Congress party does have some last aura, and it, decimating it, even in its last vestiges, provides the BJP a chance to be able to revive itself. Now, Devendra Fadnis is coming, and the Sushant Singh Rajput. This brings about an urban, upper class, middle caste, elite movement that feels wrong, not about corona, but about the fact that a boy like us went to Mumbai, made himself to the Hall of Fame, and that his death is not, nothing less than a Bihari boy being wronged by, a gang somewhere out there in Mumbai. Remember, Mumbai is a city of dreams. It's also the place where Bihari Babu once went. Now, this is also for the BJP, which has for a long time had Shatrughan Sinha in its fold. He exited the party last time around. This time around now, the BJP will be able to consolidate the upper caste votes by doing this.
Okay.
Now, while the JDU can play the politics of the Ati Pichdas, the EBCs, and dividing the Dalits, etc., you will see that the BJP will consolidate itself in the upper caste votes with the kind of strategy it has played. Right. I would also like to tell you that there is a lot of urban youth conglomeration that now flocks towards the BJP. They are quite unhappy with the way corona has been handled by the Nitish Kumar government. Right. Sending in somebody who's been a former chief minister of Maharashtra will certainly energize the BJP cadres, which at this point of time, the youth certainly feel that, they are very critical. They are conscientious youth. They are like youth anywhere.
Okay, all right. I'm afraid
they feel, the pang of being a Bihari. They feel Nitish Kumar has not done very well with corona.
I'm afraid, that's all the time we have for Ms. Priyam right now, because we had a bit of news break in the beginning. I apologize to all our panelists because we were short on time. Would have wanted to come back to all of you. But having said that, it's interesting all the points that have been made. Is the BJP eyeing the upper caste? Because, of course, he's a Brahmin himself, Mr. Fadnis. And if you look at the second highest in percentage in upper caste is Rajput. What was Sushant Singh Rajput? Well, we leave it for our viewers to ponder on that. Thank you for watching. Up next is Rahul Kanwar. Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.